And hello, welcome to Solo Playthroughs. Got a special episode for you tonight as I am doing my first ever Solo Playthroughs Patron Challenge. So Michael Wright, he has been a patron for long enough at a level high enough that he not only gets the fancy dancy shout out that we gave him about 3 months back, he is also getting this choose Greg's adventure. So here we are. He had chose for my adventure today, Mine's Liberation. It is a scenario that had been on my radar for some time. Always figured I'd get to it eventually, but Michael was like, I'm not waiting anymore. I want that eventually to be today. And boy, am I glad he has chosen this. I guess as someone who's played as much solo conquest as I have on the levels I have, I just kind of assumed that this would be somewhat easy, like, we're just defeating a couple of enemies and a couple of mines. How hard can that be? Wow, this scenario is tight. It is hard. You better make every turn count, and I mean every single one. It is very, very hard. And that's it. So ultimately, you are going to be liberating 6 mines. What's happened in the countryside of Atlantis is that monsters have taken over the mines. And on countryside tiles, they are in tandem with orcs. And on core tiles, they are in tandem with Draconum. So if you are going to successfully liberate all the mines, you will be defeating 6 monsters, 4 orcs, and 2 Draconum. And you have to do all of that again in 4 rounds. 2 days, 2 nights. That is it. If you are going to successfully do that, considering how many of those Draconum have immunities and how hard they can be in their own right, you're generally going to need to probably either siege a mage tower, burn down a monastery, get lucky with a key artifact or a key spell to really make this work out. Now, Michael, I don't know whether he was being nice to me. He didn't tell me what hero he wanted me to play as. So I have taken the liberty of hand selecting Arythea for this task. Arythea's battle versatility does make this task a lot easier for her than the other heroes. In my experience, I have only beaten this scenario with 2 of the 7 heroes. One is Arythea, one is Crane. And I think Crane's special cards really and his skills really help him in this scenario in my experience. Arythea, again, that battle versatility is huge. That extra elemental attack right off the bat can be really big in succeeding in this scenario. Now, we will randomize our dummy player. Let me just do that now. To the right of me, we have Krang, we have Norawas, we have Bravelar, Goldix, Tovak, and Wolfhawk. I rolled a 2. Norawas, come on down. You are the next contestant on dummy player is right. Cool. So we're going to have his skill deck. I'll put this over here, his turn order, and all of that. Now, the terrains in front of me, I did take out all of the Lost Legion terrain. And because someone in the comments can let me know, I just don't see how it would balance well. This is clearly a scenario from the base game. I think you should probably just be using the terrain from the base game. Now, there are 11 countryside tiles in the base game. You are going to make sure that your terrain deck includes all 4 of the mines on the countryside tiles. There is 1 of each color. Now, in a solo game, we only need 7 countryside tiles total. So I'm going to take the remainder 7, the 7 that don't have a mine. I'm going to roll a 8-sided die. I rolled a 6. We're going to take that. I'm going to roll a d6. I get a 3 and roll a d6 one more time. That's a 6. There's only 5 left, dude. There's a 1. Cool. So I'm going to take these 4 out of the game. We have these 7 tiles. I'm going to shuffle this up, and placement can be everything. 4 of these have mines, 3 of them do not. Ideally, you start starting in play. Ideally, you have 1 mine visible, and then it will kind of set your trajectory for the rest of the round. I rolled a 6 with the d8, and here's a d6. I rolled the deuce. There's 5 left. I rolled a 5. There's 4 left. I rolled a 5. There's 4 left. I rolled a 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Bam. All right. So there are our countryside tiles. On top of that, there are 4 core tiles, I think 4 non-city core tiles in the base game. I took the one that did not have a mine. The other 3 we're going to randomize. These are not all created equal. This tile, really, really hard. this tile could be really great depending on whether it's above the city or below the city. So again, the order of how in the solo game, there's one core non-city tile, one core city tile, which is always the red city. We'll talk about that in a second. And again, they're all not created equal. Major variance in the end game in this scenario that can make a big difference whether or not you have a chance to pull it off. So I rolled a 1, so we'll take the first one for 1, 2. And now I'm going to randomize this to the red city. Now the red city you do not need to conquer. It does not have a level. It is just like the cities in a lot of the Shades of Tesla scenarios, in that it is friendly. If you are adjacent to it or on it, you get +1 card draw, although I can almost assure you I will not be on it during this playthrough, in large part because it is guarded by dragons, and I do not want to provoke those attacks, because I will promise you I will not have a lot of extra attack cards or block cards at my disposal, because all of my attack and block cards are going to be going toward liberating the last 2 mines when we're at that point in the game. So I just shuffled Arythea's D deck. We're going to shuffle up the units. Again, this is a base game scenario, so it is going to be just like Solo Conquest. You will not have the extra flexibility that comes with the Blitz scenarios or with the Tesla scenarios. So we're basically going to have just 3 dice in the offer and 3 units available in the 3 dice in the source, I should say, and 3 units available in the unit offer. We're unlikely to get to the elite units. Remember, my elite units are here in green, my regular units are there in blue, and yes, I am intentionally keeping a large portion of these decks off camera so I can keep the camera as close as possible to the surface here. So the initial units, we have Utem Crossbowmen. They're twin brothers, the Utem Crossbowmen, and then the shock troops do like that. Would love to get a village, potentially recruit one of those crossbowmen early on. That'd be very nice. And I got a white and 2 red for the initial source. I'm going to shuffle up the skill decks. Again, with Arythea, I do have her competitive skill in here. There is that discoloration issue, which I've mentioned a bunch. So if we pull the competitive skill, I will just sub in the cooperative skill, which will be fine. Bam. And now we have Norwas's skill deck. Oh man, I gave Arythea a concussion. It's okay, recover. And then we're going to shuffle up Norwas's skill deck. No concerns about coloration, because elves don't have concerns about coloration. That's right. Little known fact. You heard it here first. Don't forget. Great. We're going to shuffle up the artifact deck. Maybe we'll get an artifact. The most likely way we'll get an artifact is that there's a kind of a low-hanging dungeon, so to speak. We might try to go ahead and see if we can get lucky. Artifact deck is not as useful in this scenario as in others, because there's only a few cards you want to see. You don't have that big arc that you'll have in a 6-round game where you can make a lot of more things work. In this scenario, I don't know why I'm shuffling the wounds, kids. You really need to keep moving, and if you do something that gets on artifact and you end up with something that's not that useful, it could be a very big blow to your chances for sure. But we'll see what's in the, if we can get a spell. There's not a ton of good Mage Tower options with the countryside tiles that we have. Again, we're not using the Lost Legion tiles. So, and we've kind of tweaked the deck so it only has the mines. So again, I've just found that it's not always easy to get a good Mage Tower that's worth the movement it's going to cost to get there and do an attack and get out. But we'll see. So the opening spell offer is going to be, oh man, I would love a Mage Tower to attack. Fireball can really open this game up. So that's great. Exposed can be fairly good, helping an enemy lose resistances. So I like that spell. And then Chill, target enemy does not attack. If it has fire resistance, it loses it for the rest of the turn. That could be especially massive with Arythea. In the advanced action, well, that's not great. We got Rush of Adrenaline, which is a red-green card. We have Explosive Bolt, which is a red-white card. You generally want to avoid giving the dummy player dual color cards if you can. Obviously, we're going to have to give him one. And then we have Frostbridge. The dual color cards are interesting. I haven't seen an official ruling saying this is wrong. In all the threads I've seen, it seems to suggest because this card is both red and green, you will discard a card if you pull that card for both red and green crystals in the dummy player's inventory, which again, that could be really, really bad. You know, especially if it was like a white green, that'd be awful. I don't even know if a white green exists actually, but you kind of get the point of what I'm saying. But it could really add up quick if you're unlucky enough to have to take that card into the dummy player's deck, and then you actually pull that. You know, all of a sudden you could be going through 7 cards, and you're like, that's not good. All right, so everything's set up here. I just need to get the initial terrain. With the initial terrain, we will get, all right, we have the green mine. So some mine action right off the bat. Let's see if I really don't want this to be a mine because I don't want to have to go there and then come back. It is not a mine. So that's really fortunate. All right, that's a decent setup. Gives us a good shot out the gate. Now you'll notice we're going to be doing attacks pretty quick. Are we going to be set up for them? No. If you don't like taking wounds, so this is the rumors that goes there. If we defeat an orc and a draconum, you can get an artifact and an advanced action. If you don't like taking wounds, this is going to be a very hard scenario. You do not have the time to set up. You will be taking wounds, and then it becomes a lot about wound management. Arythea has that one wound management skill that can come in very, very big if you're fortunate enough to get it. So on this terrain tile, we just had the keep, and we have a ruins. On the other one, there's a village, there's a magical glade, there's a rampaging orc, and then we have the mine. So what am I doing with this mine? Well, I'm going to put a monster token face down, and then we're going to put an orc right on top of it. So first I'm going to put the rampaging orc out, and we'll put that there. So that is a prowler. And then we'll see what I put in the mine. So the mine is each mine is guarded by 2 enemies. Ooh, ironclad with physical resistance. This is why Arythea is amazing, because hopefully I'll get the battle versatility and be able to take care of that ironclad without too much of a hassle. All right, so you can enter a mine, but it's just like entering a dungeon, entering the space of a mine without actually triggering an attack. These are not rampaging enemies. That's a rampaging orc. This is just an orc chilling in a mine. Night rules apply. So basically, I think thematically what's going on is like you can kind of see the ironclad, but you don't know what the other enemy is deep in the mine. You just know it's some kind of monster, right? So you're going to go in, you have to tackle both of them. Night rules will apply. You can bring your units because mines are clearly bigger than dungeons, and then you could bring all your units with you, but you have to defeat both enemies. If you only defeat one, you leave the other one face up on the tile. It stays in the mine. You can enter the mine again the next turn as your action to attack it. Then if you defeat a mine, you've successfully liberated it, you will get +1 reputation. And at the end of your turn, you will get, your turn will end there. You'll get a color. You'll get a crystal of that color because the mines start producing immediately. And then there's the additional benefit that at the beginning of every round thereafter, you will be getting a crystal of every, one crystal of the color of every mine that you have liberated so far in the scenario. So that could really add up. That crystal flexibility is super nice. And I'm happy to get the green mine first, because I'm telling you what, the concentration becomes like the most important card in the game in this scenario, because the ability to get a ranged attack 5 in all these unfortified sites is so big so often with so many of these monsters that it can be really, really good to have those green crystals available. So you can always use concentration and hopefully either have one of the swiftnesses, or again, in Arythea's case, have that battle versatility, get that ranged attack 5, bam, good to go. All right, I am drawing my opening hand. Oh, ask and you shall receive. All right, so it's a little bright. I know over here, again, I added the light so you guys can all track along with my hand as I play. There's a little bit of shadow, but I think this is kind of the best setup. I'm going to keep trying to make it better and better as we go. And I think being able for you to be able to see my hand, that any of the downside of this outweighs the upside by a great degree. So we have battle versatility, we have improvisation. That's also another strong card for where I'm at in this game. We have stamina, we have threaten, and we have swiftness. What am I going to take? Good question. I'm going to take as my tactic planning. I think that just makes it a couple of benefits of having planning. One, it makes it 40% that we're going to go first, but two, it just makes it to have more of a chance of a well-rounded first round where I could do a couple of things, right? Every round, look, 6 mines, 4 rounds. I want to minimum liberate 1 mine. Ideally, I liberate a mine and tackle a dungeon, or I liberate a mine and I recruit a unit. Like, there's things I want to do for sure. If there's any chance that I can get that fireball, that would be everything. But I also do like the other spells there too, so I'm not going to go too crazy. And actually, expose might almost be better because I don't want Norwas to get 3 white crystals, so kind of getting ahead of myself a little bit. But I'm going to take planning. I think it just makes it's the card to most likely give you the ability to have a very, very good first round. We're going to roll for Norwas's skill. Norwas takes Rethink. Rethink comes out of the game. And that's fine. And I will put planning right here. So Norwas is first. And what he's going to do is peel off. It's a white, it's a blue, and it's a red. So that's fine. Thank you, Norwas, for going nice and slowly for me. You're the best. Great. I don't wonder if it makes sense to try to hold on to Threaten for later because they try to get the Uthen Crossbowman. I'm going to just play Improvisation. It's only going to be 4 points of movement from there to there, so that's not bad. So I'll play Improvisation. I'm going to discard the Stamina. I'm going to power that with the red from the source, and that 5 points of movement gets me 2 into the plains, and then it's going to be 3 into the hills where the mine is. Now again, I don't trigger an attack. Next turn, I can enter there if I so choose, which I will. I rolled a green. Beautiful. Now I'm going to draw up the 3 more cards, and I'm going to get Rage, like to see that. March, not that helpful. And Swiftness. Okay, so I have a ton of range attack. Unfortunately, it's not great a situation. I don't have any crystals. I'm probably gonna have to do this in 2 separate turns, but we'll see what I can do, right? So Norwas is gonna go. He pulls a white. Norwas pulls a blue. Norwas pulls a green. He has 1 green crystal, and we got Determination. So he's gone through 7 cards out of his 16 cards in his deed deck. I am going to enter the mine and attack these jacks. What do we got? So this isn't that bad. So the Ironclads are a little rough in that they're doing 4 points of damage, and it's brutal. So if I don't block them, remember I have only an armor of 2, so that'd be 4 wounds from the Ironclads. Additionally, if I don't block Shadow, not only is his elusive going to mean that it's going to be 8 points of damage to defeat him, he's also only doing 4 points of damage, so he doesn't have brutal. It's a cold fire attack, so that would be 2 wounds from him. So clearly, I can't take 6 wounds. It would knock me out. So what do I need to do? Well, I want to use that fire attack 3 on the Ironclads, right? They're going to be really bad. So I'm probably not going to be able to take care of our friend Shadow this turn. And the unfortunate reality is, yeah, it's an unfortunate sequence. That's 2 very, very hard enemies to get this early in the game. But it is what it is. So look, I am going to hold on to one of my Swiftnesses, but I do have to block the Ironclads. So I'm going to play Rage for block 2. I'm going to discard these 2 for 1. I'm playing them sideways for block 1 each. Actually, let me take... it's not going to matter. Let me keep this other Swiftness. I'm going to get rid of Threaten. I'm going to get rid of Threaten. If by the off chance I get Concentration and Crystallize, I could actually put something together over 2 turns that I could actually get range attack 8. But, we'll see how that works out. So anyway, I'm doing a block of a 4. So that's going to block these 4 wounds from the Ironclads. I'm going to take these 2 wounds from Shadow, again, our little panda dinosaur friend. And then I'm going to play Battle Versatility. I'm going to charge it with the red powered up with the red from the source. That's going to be Fire Attack 3, which is efficient against the Ironclads. So the Ironclads are dead. Shadow is like, my job here is done. I have given some wounds. He's going to crawl back into the mine from whence he came. And now I'm going to get 4 points of fame because of the Ironclads. I don't get any reputation. Again, it's not a rampaging enemy, and I did not liberate the mine yet. These go away. I'm going to get my reward. No rewards. Again, I'm just getting my level up. I'm going to look at the top 2 cards, top 2 skills. We get, that's interesting. So that's the competitive skill. This comes back. So once in action, I can throw away 3 cards. I'm sorry, not cards. I can throw away 2 wounds. And then on the next turn, I could use a wound sideways for a times 3. So that's a really dynamic card. that can kind of serve a lot of purposes. So it's a Ritual of Pain. So again, when you use a cooperative skill in a solo game, you just have to, you can get both benefits, but you have to do it in consecutive turns. If you don't use it in the next turn, you don't get it. I definitely want that more than I want that influence skill. The influence skill is called the Dark Negotiation because, again, you get +2 influence during the day, +3 influence at night when it is dark. So we're going to put one of Norwas's skills in the skill offer. You get +1 movement up to 3 for each ready and healthy unit you have. And then I am going to take, I think I take Explosive Bolt. That's fine. All right, I'm going to draw out to my hand limit, which is 5. And then Planning Trigger, so I get 1 more. It is that. Sure. Yeah, man, it's it's not great. That is for real. All right, let's go with Norwas. Norwas is going to go, it's a white, it's a green, it's a red. So at least he's going a little bit slow. I will use this skill to throw away 2 wounds. The next turn I can get a wound and play it for sideways for 1. I'm going to drop this card. So I can use my skills. It's a special skill. I can use my skills on turns that I rest. It's a healing effect. You can do healing effects on turns that you rest, which is fine. So I'm going to drop the stamina. I draw up to my hand limit, which is 5. It is Tranquility and Crystallize, and then Planning Trigger. So I get a 6 card, and it's March. Wow. So I did not get Concentration. I did not get Concentration. I did not get my other Rage, and I did not get my mana pull. So none of that's great. None of that is great. Crystallize. Yeah, this is like so bad. Okay, Norwas goes. It's a green, a blue, it's a white, and it's a green. So 1 more. My turn. I am going to attack Shadow. So we're entering the thing again. I can't block him. So the question is, how am I getting up to 8 attack? All right, so we're in combat, so I'm going to play Explosive Bolt. I'm going to take a wound. I'm also not blocking Shadow, so I'm going to get 2 more wounds. Now, this is the very next turn. Remember, I used that on the turn that I rested, so I'm going to play this. That gives me attack 3. I'm going to play this. Oh, I took a wound and I got a white and a red crystal to my inventory. So I played that for attack 3. I'm going to power Swiftness for attack 6. I will play Crystallize sideways and Swiftness sideways. I'll hold on to this white crystal. So that's attack 8 right there. That's enough. So again, the Panda Dinosaur here, he is arcane immune, but again, these are all attack effects, so these are all going to be effective against him. And since I didn't block him, it was 8 points of attack. Had I been able to come up with that 8 points of block I would have needed against that cold fire attack, I would have only needed 4 points of attack to defeat him. But alas, this was not meant to be. So Panda Dinosaur is dead. I get 4 fame for that. That gets me up to 8. I'm going to get +1 reputation because I liberated the mine. At the end of the turn, I will get a green crystal because I have I'm on the mine. It's now totally liberated. I'm going to put this here. I'm also going to just take my level up now before I forget, which gives me another command token. Right? Well, at the end of my turn, I could also... Yeah, I'll play Tranquility to give me heal 1. And that will let me draw the rest of my cards in my deck. Cool. So this goes out. It's red. Now this wound's not thrown away with that skill. It's just basically played for ×3, and then it goes back into my discard pile. And now at the end of my turn, I will draw to my hand limit, which is 5. Planning's going to trigger. That's going to give me 6. Actually, I have a chance to potentially still recruit in the village and start their next turn where I can do some pillaging and hopefully get off to a good start in the next round. Planning is no longer useful because, again, I have all my cards. And now we go to Norwas's turn. Norwas uses 2 cards. He's going to declare end of round next turn. My turn. So I need to get into here. Sure, so I'm going to get move 2 because of March. I'm going to play Mana Pull and Determination sideways. It gets me into the village, and then I'm going to use the green from the source. I play Promise. I get the stronger effect of Promise +2. That is Influence 6. I just recruited myself some Utem crossbowmen, which makes me happy. Cool, I roll this. Range attack is so important in this scenario. It is very, very nice to get the crossbowman early. Great. Norwas declares end of round. Fine. Be that way. I just have this 1 wound left, which is not bad. So, not the quickest first round I would have hoped for, but some good things happened. Happy to get the Uther crossbowman. Happy to start next turn in the village. And happy to have defeated liberated at least 1 mine. Now, that mine, so we're starting the next round. I'm still going to have to do some setup, but I will get a green crystal because the miners are so thankful. They come, they run behind me and say, here, take this as a gift of our gratitude. And they're going to keep doing that every round because they're so awesome. This skill is going to ready. I'm going to reset the unit offer. Again, we have no core tiles. We get the herbalist I can recruit in the village. The Utem swordsman I cannot recruit in the village, and the foresters. Oh, love me some foresters. That they can be everything in this scenario. That level 1 unit that only needs 1 point of healing to heal, and that move 2. Oh, yeah, that move 2, and that reduces the cost to move through hills. Oh, so big. Anyway, so I just rolled a black, and a gold, so none of that is good. I re-roll all 3 dice. I get a green and 2 blacks. Again, it's not 50% basic, so we have to re-roll the non-basic. I now get a red and a white. We got there. We got there eventually. I knew we would. Now, one of the nice things about having 2 very tough units in there was the ability that I leveled up twice right off the bat. All right, so Rush of Adrenaline has to get added to here before I shuffle. So there's 17 cards in Norwas's deck. So it is a dual color card, but red-green's not awful for Norwas. A lot better than the white one that I took, obviously. Fireball is going to go off. We're going to put a red crystal into Norwas's inventory. And then we get Swift Bolt is going to replenish the unit offer, and then Mana Bolt is going to replenish the spell offer. So Bolt and Bolt. Lots of bolts. It's like a hardware store. Great. Pulling out the 5 cards. Swiftness, Rage, Stamina, Crystallize. Oh, Improvisation. Yeah, I think I do it. I think I'll do it. All right, so what tactic for the second day? I'm going to take Long Night and hopefully get a Long Night out of this. We'll see. And then hopefully I can go first too. Rolled a 3, so Mana Search is out. So that works out really well. So I will either have Preparation or Sparing Power available to me in the last round. And I go first this round. So Arythea is jumping over Norwas. He's like, what just happened? That's right, dude. You stay in your lane. Great. I am going to... It's a long night. Let me make use of it. So I'm going to Pillage the Village. I get 2 more cards. Stamina and a Wound. Okay. That's fine. I'm going to play Improvisation, and I'm going to power it with a red from the source. I'm going to discard Crystallize. That gives me Influence 5. Yeah, when I Pillage the Village, obviously I lost a reputation for that. I get Influence 5. Give me the Foresters. Before I do my action, I'll play one of the Staminas so I can explore. Yikes. We got a bunch of swamps in front of me. That's not nice. No mines on that tile. Wow. Well, the foresters will help me get this way because I can go hills, forests. So I probably will just avoid those swamps altogether. We have the rampaging orcs in the middle of that tile. And now we have a ruins as well. So one of the things you learn about this scenario is that you really need to become familiar with how the mines are situated on these tiles. I mean, it really does get to that level of sickness if you're really going to get good at beating this with any kind of regularity. These are ruins. They go face down in the night. So the green mine is the only mine that comes in the bottom left of the tile. All other mines are in the bottom right of the tile. So the blue mine and the white mine would be there, except for the red mine, which is in the center of the tile. So knowing that, it's going to change how I go about where I put tiles and where I hope these mines show up and where I want to be when I put new tiles out. My general trajectory in Mines Liberation is I go up this way with all the countrysides, and then I kind of loop back around. Because remember, the core tiles have to go. They can't go on the coast. And understanding that the Red City, again, has 2 dragons. You do not want to approach the Red City from the south or the west if you can help it. You really want to approach it from around the edge. And then the other core tiles, too, all have their kind of difficulties that they're going to throw at you if you're not careful. So anyway, so I explored first with stamina. Then as my action, I used improvisation. Great. I'm going to roll this. It's green. I'm going to clean up my play area. I am now the proud owner of some Fosters. They should come in huge as I want to get over here now. I'm going to draw to my handle, which is 5, and I'm pillaging the village one more time, and I get 2 more cards. I get Tranquility, and I get a Threaten action. So one of the downsides of this guild, it was very situational. Obviously, that came in very big for me in that first round. One of the downsides is if you don't have 2 wounds in your hand, you're like, well, how useful is it? But again, Explosive Bolt giving me that red and white crystal. You know, I'll probably end up with 2 wounds in my hand, a fair amount. So, and be able to make use of this, hopefully, every round. Norwas has his first turn of the round. We have a red, we have a green, we have a blue, no blue crystals. He's being very cooperative. Sometimes he's a jerk. Today, he is just the best. I have no more command tokens, so no use looking at that right now. I am going to, I don't have access to a blue, which is fine. So I'm going to play Foresters. The move cost of forest, hills, and swamps is reduced by 1 this turn to a minimum of 0. I'm going to play Stamina. That gives me move 4 between the move 2 from the Foresters and the move 2 from Stamina. So I go here. That only costs 2 points of movement. It's going to take me 4 to get into the forest and 4 to get into the swamp. I know that it doesn't make sense for me to go into the swamp because I know that the next mine is likely to be here, right? Just because the blue or white mine is going to be here, the red mine is going to be in the center. So I might as well spend the 4 points of movement it's going to take to get into the forest. So I will play Tranquility and Threaten sideways. I'm not worried about healing that wound because obviously I know I have a wound in my hand and I know I have this skill. And again, it's up to 2 wounds too. So I don't have to throw away 2 wounds. It's up to 2 wounds. So in theory, I could do this. And since it's up to not throw away any wounds, and the next turn just have the +3, which would be pretty cool. So what? 2 points of movement, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That gets me here. Do I want to play the Swiftness? I have Explosive Bolt in my hand, but that's a nice. That's probably too strong. I mean, one of the benefits of going to the swamp would be that I could pillage again, but I don't think that makes too much sense at this point. You know what? I think I gotta drop the Swiftness. I still have another Swiftness, and I still have Battle Versatility. So, and the Explosive Bolt will actually serve a really nice purpose. So let me play 2 more points of movement. Let's explore. Let's get this tile on the board. It is, interesting. So it is not a mine. So we know the last 2 core tiles, the last 3 core tiles here, the countryside tiles all have mines on them, that means there's probably going to be a mine there. That's just going to change how we kind of approach the rest of the scenario for sure. We're going to need a Mage Tower Garrison to go in the center of this. It's going to be face down. It's only 2 points to get into there, so that's not awful. We're gonna have. The problem is, I mean, I really need to liberate a mine this turn because things are. I mean, ideally you liberate 3 mines by the end of that second night. I don't know if that's gonna be possible, so we'll see. I don't think it's gonna be possible. Part of me is tempted to siege the Mage Tower for sure. Get Mana Bolt maybe. Mana Bolt's really flexible, and I'll have plenty of crystals. We'll see. This is a Rampaging Orc that's going to go face up. We got some Wolf Riders, and then we're going to have the Ruins going face down right in front of my face. Knowing that tile came out, I really did wish, I do wish now I went to the village, because I would be able to pillage it, and that would be great. But that was not in the cards. So again, we had a total of 6 points, 8 points of movement, and that got us here, and we were able to explore a new tile. Great, drawing up to my hand limit of 5. Yikes, I did not get any more movement. Might do that, actually. It's really aggressive, but I have to keep moving here. Norwas is going to get a red, a blue, and a blue. My turn. I'm going to use Rage and Promise sideways to move into this ruin. Since I entered the space where the ruins were, I can flip it. Now, if I defeated a keep garrison and a monster garrison, I would get an artifact. Not likely. So the other problem I have right now is Concentration, Explosive Bolt. That's going to give me a range attack 5, but again, range attack, I'm going to need siege attack if I want to defeat the garrison, and we do not know what that is just yet, but we shall find out. So I'm going to draw up to my hand limit, which is 5. It is battle versatility and swiftness. That could give me a siege attack 4, which is going to be very nice. Very nice. Could also give me a block 6. There's a lot of things I like about that. Norwest's turn. It is green, it is white, and it is green. One more comes off. My turn. Again, this hand limit of 5 is for the birds. I'm going to move in with swiftness, and we're going to siege the mage tower. Again, it's night, so I don't know what it is. We flip it over. It is a monks. Okay, so I would need siege attack 5 to defeat that. I can only get up to siege attack 4. So what am I going to do? Well, let me get the block 3 with the crossbowman, because I don't want to deal with the poison and the wounds and all that stuff. That's fine. And then I'm going to block 2. Oh man, because if I don't block it, it's 2 wounds to my hand, because my armor is a 3, and then 2 wounds to my discard pile, which I guess wouldn't be awful, considering maybe I don't want to waste the crossbowman, because then I could do this, which would be fine. Have the battle versatility. Remember, if I assign a wound to the forcers, I'd have to put a second wound on top of them. Don't think that's the greatest use of them. All right, fine. I'm going to take 2 wounds from the monks, 2 wounds to my discard pile, and now I just need 5 attack. I'm going to play concentration with explosive bolt, and that's going to be attack 5. This dude is dead. I lose a reputation because I seized a fortified site. I get 4 fame. That gets me up to 12. I'm going to take a spell as my reward. I'm going to take Mana Bolt. Do I want to take Expose? Man, I think Mana Bolt's so much more powerful. It's gonna put another white into Norris's inventory, but I think that's a risk worth taking. Chill is interesting. I don't think it's all that helpful though. So Flame Wall, just with the access to mana I have, I think Mana Bolt's the best card there. I'm going to mark this with a shield. After combat, I'm going to use this. It's a healing effect, so I get to throw away 2 wounds. And next turn, I can use the last wound for a ×3. All right, that's why I didn't bother blocking the monks. I'm going to clean up my play area. I draw it to my hand limit, which is still 5, so I get 3 more. Mana Bolt, March, and Termination. Cool. We're going to go to Norwest's turn. It's a green, it's a white, it's a red, 1 more. Now let's see if we can't liberate at least 1 mine this turn. I think that'd be really important, and I have the cards to potentially give me a chance to do it. So I'm going to play, I'm going to use my skill. Again, I have to use it on this turn. I get the ×3 for that wound, so I'm going to move here. I'm going to play March. I'm going to power with the green from the source. That gives me move 4. So I'm going to explore with the first 2 points of movement. Here we go. So we have another village, we have a keep, we have another mine. So I'm going to put a monster enemy face down. We're going to put a keep garrison face down. So realistically what this means is, because of how this came down, that the white mine's here, the blue mine's going to be there. Oh, it's gonna be the red mine there. Or hopefully I get the red mine next, and the blue mine will be there. That would be actually the best sequence for me, because again, the red mine still has not come out. We're gonna put the orc again. We have a prowler that's chilling inside the mine with our friend. I have 2 more points of movement. I'm going to move into. That's fine. Range is like 6. I don't have a blue. Well, that's the problem. Mana bolt. I don't have a blue, but I still have mana draw. I don't think I've seen it yet. Should be the next card up. It could be pretty big. Let me move into the. Because the question is, do I want to move into the village where I can pillage it, or does it make more sense just to move right into there? But I have to get rid of the determination to do that. So I have 2 more points of movement. I'm just going to move into the village. I think that makes the most sense. I'm going to roll this. This is flipped. These go into my play area. I draw it to my hand limit, which is 5. Mana pull again, and march. That's perfect. I'm gonna pillage the village. I pull 1 card, so I lose a reputation. I pull 1 card. Oh, my discard pile is empty. So I put 3 more cards into my discard pile into my draw pile from my discard pile with Long Night. Yeah, because if I can successfully liberate this mine, that's a really great second day. So I'm gonna put 3 cards at random into my draw pile, and I still have to finish my pillaging. So I draw 1 more card. It's a swiftness. Not bad. I think we can make this work. The wound's not ideal, but I'm not that upset about it. All right, Norwas's turn. He gets a white, he gets a green, red, and he gets a blue. He's going to declare end of round next turn. My turn. So I need move 3 to get into there, and then we're going to need to figure it out from there. Cool. So I'm going to play Mana Pull. Yeah, that would be great. I have so much range attack at this point. I should be totally fine. I'm going to Mana Pull. I'm going to power with the white from the source. Now, again, Arythea's Mana Pull is a lot stronger than a normal mana draw. So I'm going to make this a little bit brighter. Cool. So it's a little stronger than the normal mana draw. So I'm going to be able to take these other 2 dice, and I can set them to any color I want. I want to keep 1 green. I'm going to set this one to blue. Now, I get a mana of each color to my... I get a mana of each color to use this turn. And then I'm going to use the 1 to power March, make that move 4, so I can move into here. Does it make sense? I'm probably not using determination for anything strong. I would have attack 6. I'm wondering if I gamble and play determination sideways just to actually explore a little bit. That's probably not worth it. So I won't do that. Let me hold out the determination just in case. So I'm just basically wasting 1 point of movement. So the action of my turn is I'm entering the mine. What are we going to get? Nice. So it's only 8 points of range or siege attack to defeat both of them. I'm going to use the Uthran Bowman for range attack 2. I'm going to play Mana Bolt. I'm going to power. So I have to play the blue to play Mana Bolt, and then I'm going to use the white. Now I'll use the green for siege ice attack 5, and then I have battle versatility, which has a range attack 1. That is 8 points of range plus siege attack. I can group these enemies. They have no resistances, so this is not a problem at all. So that's totally cool. They are both dead in the range and siege attack phase. It's very strong. So I'm going to clean up my area. But per the terms of Mana Pool, they don't get re-rolled. The white does get re-rolled, however. That becomes a red. These go out. These go out. I have to get fame. I get 7 points of fame. That gets me from 12 to 19. I'm going to be here. So to end my turn on the white mine, I'm going to get a white crystal. I do level up. So let me look at the next 2 skills. Polarization, kind of useless. And the other one is I can discard a card to get a white or a black mana. I can discard a wound to get a white or a black mana. I can discard a card to get a green or a white mana, or I get polarization, whereas I can use a gold mana as a black mana, a white mana as a green mana, or a red mana as a blue mana, or vice versa on all 3 counts. I will take I'm not loving these skills for this specific scenario. You know how much I love motivation, but invocation can come in handy. That's the name of this skill here. We add one of Norwest's skills to the inventory. There, I might take Norwas as motivation. That is for sure. And I think I'm not worried about mana as much. Oh, I can put a spell here. I get a +1 reputation because I liberated the mine. Yeah, that makes sense because 1, 2, 3, 4, and then because I lost reputation 4 times. I pillaged a village 3 times, and then I again defeated that monastery, or then I sieged the mage tower, and then I went up. I liberated 2 mines, so that math is totally right. I don't think Blood Ritual makes sense. I'm not sure if Frostbridge makes sense though. Well, Frostbridge could potentially get me in a better situation where I could just immediately attack the next mine. I'm not sure I need more range attack right now. I can add a blue or a red. I'm kind of fine either way. Yeah, I don't see the point of Swift Bolt right now. So I'm going to take that, and then Temporal Portal. I would have definitely taken that. I'm a big fan of that card. All right, I draw it to my hand limit, which is still just 5. And yeah, so we get a stamina and a frost bridge. Cool. What's going on next? We're going to go to Norwas's turn. Norwas is going to declare end of round. I've already done that, so that goes away. So my turn, I'm going to play Frost Bridge. I get move 4. I can move through lakes, and the move cost of lakes and swamps reduced by 1 this turn. Reduced to 1 this turn, I'm sorry. Yeah, reduced by 1. There is no move cost for lakes, but it's reduced by 1. So I have 4 points of movement. The first 2 points of movement I'm going to explore. It is the blue. Again, I much preferred getting the red. The Frost Bridge is going to come in pretty huge, I think. So we get a monastery. So we get an advanced action in the offer. We get peaceful moment. I'm going to put 1 on there to indicate there's 1 monastery on the board. We have the blue mine, which we've discovered. So we have to put this face down here. And then we have a rampaging orc. So I'm going to put this here. And we have ourselves this orc guarding that. Another ironclad. Wow. Yowza. Okay. So I have 2 more points of movement. Wondering if I could take out that dude. No. Because that armor 4, it's a wolf rider. So it's got swiftness. So if I take the wounds, I don't think it's the worst idea. But my problem is what I would have loved to have taken advantage of Frostbridge, because it would have been 5 to get into the forest, 6, and then 3 more. You have to move 3 through them too. You can't end there because it's not a safe space. So I'd have to actually have a force withdrawal, and I'd take a wound. So bunch of things that aren't working out there. Yeah, it's unfortunate. If that was the red mine, that'd have been way, way better. Way better. So I guess I just get to that magical glade, and then during the day, it's not going to be that big of a deal. So I'm going to get 2 more points of movement, so that gives me move 4. I'm going to get 2 more points of movement, that gives me move 6. It gets me into the magical glade, so I'm ending my turn there. I'm going to heal 1. I'm wondering if, because if I go there, it's 3, but then it'd be 8. I can't get 8 points of movement. I just can't. So that's a little bit unfortunate. That's fine. So I healed. I threw away a wound at the end of my turn, and that is the end of the round because Norwest has already declared end of the round. The other card I did not get to was a rage. Cool. If I had a rage, I just wasn't getting there. Was not getting there. If I needed another blue. So since we're going to the next round, remember I have liberated 2 mines. So the white mine is liberated, the green mine is liberated. Both of those miner families are so happy. They come chase me down and say, "Here, Miss Arythea, have some of our crystals." And I'm like, yes, thank you. Blood Ritual goes here. This comes down. We replenish the advanced action in the unit offer. That's going to become Heroic Tales. And we have this. It is now pure magic in the advanced action offer. Cool. Expose comes off. It does give another white crystal. Don't love that. And then we can put this here. All right. So this comes off. We're going to get 3 new regular units. We have shock troops. We have red cape monks. And we have Utum swordsman. Goes here. Flip this down. I'm going to roll these dice. It's red and 2 blacks. We need to re-roll the blacks. It's a white and a blue. Drawing out to my hand limit, which is 5. Swiftness, improvisation, explosive bolt. That could be handy. and mana pull. I'm going to draw. I'm going to start with a gold because again I'm in a magical glade. I think it makes sense for me to take Great Start, so I immediately take 2 more cards, Stamina and Determination. We're going to roll for Norwas. Norwas rolls a 6, which is nice. That means I go first again. Cool. So I did that. They come out of the game. We need to shuffle Norris' deck. Now remember, with this skill, I don't mind taking a few wounds here. It might make some sense. The problem I'm having right now is just looking at this setup. I know that I might actually have the Wolf Riders join in this battle because I don't want to take 2 actions to defeat them, because my best course to get up from there is to get basically through the Wolf Riders, because I know that the blue mine is going to be right there. And then I'm going to want to explore, by the end of this round, I'm hoping to explore from here to start getting a core tile on the board, right? So again, this whole thing is it's very regimented. Oh, and in wounds too, I can always discard to get some mana. So a lot of things to not really mind about some wounds here. There's going to be 6 points of movement to get into there. If I use the foresters, it's only going to be 4 points of movement. And sure, bam, move 2. The cost of movement to forest and hills is reduced by 1. March, that's move 4, gets me into the mine. Am I attacking the mine? Yes. I'm going to bring the Wolf Riders in. Let's do this all in one turn. If I take some wounds, so be it. What do we have? Cool, so we have Minotaurs, they have Brutal, they attack 5, they have 5 armor. We have ourselves the Ironclads, they attack 4 with Brutal, they have 3 armor, but they are physically resistant. Do not have any of my elemental attack, unfortunately. Then we have the Wolf Riders, they're attacking with Swiftness, only 4 armor, so ultimately we're going to need 9 points of physical attack and then 6 points of physical attack separately for the Ironclads. So this is going to be a little tight. Let's see. I definitely want to block the Minotaur because that's 10 points of damage I don't want to deal with. So we will power. Explosive Bolt could definitely come in handy. I do have range attack. Range attack. I have range attack 8. Oh, if I had range attack 9, that'd be so much better. I keep being like 1 point away, and it's super tilting. All right, for each point of attack, an enemy gets -1. I could make that work. All right, let me do that. So I'm gonna play explosive. So give me this back and give me determination back. Yeah, this is cool. So I'm going to power Swiftness with a range attack 3, and then I'm going to use the Ultra Crossbowman for range attack 5, which is going to kill the Minute. Nope, sorry. I'm powering Explosive Bolt for range attack 3. Then I'm going to use Ultra Crossbowman for range attack 5 for each enemy. Now this again, arcane this will not work on any enemy with arcane immunity, but neither of these orcs have it. So I kill the Minotaur, and then it's going to give another enemy -1 armor to a minimum of 1. That's going to give the Wolf Riders it's going to give a Wolf Riders a armor of a 3. I'm going to do that with Swiftness. That is fine. Actually going to use the white from the source. So I've killed the Wolf Riders. Using an Explosive Bolt, kill the Minotaur. Another enemy got an armor -1. I applied that modification to the Wolf Riders. I killed them with Swiftness. And then we're going to let the 3 wounds come in from the Ironclad, right? Because it's attacking me with a 4. Brutal makes it 8 points of damage. My armor is a 3. So again, that goes in 3 times, so I get 3 wounds. So 2 times and a remainder, rounded up. And now I just need 6 points of physical damage to defeat the Minotaur. I'm going to play Improvisation. I'm going to discard Mana Pull, because honestly it's just kind of useless at this point, because I have so many crystals. And then I'm going to play Determination to get me 7 points of physical attack. And that's going to be enough to kill the Ironclads. Very cool. So I'm going to clean up my play area. I did liberate a mine, so I get a reputation back. I'm going to get 11 points of fame. 4 from the Ironclads, 3 from the Wolf Riders, 4 from the Minotaurs. That gets me up to 30. So I will have a level up at the end of this turn. end of turn sequence. I'm going to roll that. It's black. These all go into my discard pile. Since I end my turn on that mine, I'm going to get a blue. And my level up means I can draw up to 6 cards, which is awesome. But actually at the end of the battle, before I do my end of turn sequence, I'm going to use this, which allows me to throw away 2 wounds. And now I have a 3rd wound, which I can use sideways for ×3 movement, which is going to be really nice. So this goes here, and then I draw up to 6. A wound, concentration, march, and crystallize. Very nice. All right, what do we got? So I've liberated the blue mine, and I want to liberate the red mine before the end of this round. Remember, Norwas hasn't done anything yet. Just hasn't done anything. It's pretty cool, and I still have mana bolt. I have a lot of things going for me at this point. If I got my influence cards, maybe I'd even recruit the Red Cape Monks now that I have this command token. We'll see. I don't love Heroic Tale enough. It's definitely not worth burning down the monastery at all. So we're just going to keep moving on and try to find that red mine, which again we know is right there. Norwas. It's green. It's green. It's blue. Yeah, as long as it's not white, we'll be okay, I think. My turn. I'm going to use a wound sideways for move 3. I'm going to power stamina with a blue die from the source for move 6. So I have move 9 total. This is, well, maybe I won't. No, that's fine. So I have move, I'm sorry, not 9, 7. It's like 9, it's just less. I move 7 total. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 2 more points of movement. 3 more points of movement, actually. So we're going to use 2 of them to explore. We have an orc in our face. These orcs are so rude, man. All right, so we're going to put the enemy token face down on the red mine. Bam. We're going to put a rampaging orc in front of me first. What do we get? It is the orc summoner. Oof. Okay. And then the other orc here is going to be some diggers. They are fortified. They only are 3 and 3 though, and that's fine. They'll be pretty easy to deal with. The unfortunate thing is dealing with that summoner is not exactly my idea of a good time right now. I could... Ooh, so this is actually at a 0, which is nice, because again, oh, and I defeated that orc. I get another reputation, actually. So I'm good shape there. So I could just spend 2 for 2 points of healing, which I don't hate. Don't want to get stuck. I still have a bunch of movement cards. Yeah, so while I'm in the monastery, I'm going to spend these 2 cards, Crystallize and March Sideways, and for 2 points of influence, I'm going to heal. So 2 points of influence for 1 point of healing is what I meant to say a second ago. And then I have Concentration. I'll be able to pick up 5 new cards, which I like that a lot. So, roll the red. Remembering to heal in villages and monasteries is really important in this scenario for sure. You will be healing a lot. So I've used both of my units, which is a little unfortunate, but I think that was worth it. I still have some really strong cards, so hopefully we can make this thing work. Some Mana Bolt, Promise, and ooh, am I recruiting the monks anyway? That's interesting. Maybe, definitely maybe. Okay, Norwas, second turn. What do you got? Norwas gets the red, green, a red, and a red. Nice. Another red comes off, so definitely rich in whites. My turn, I'm going to spend... I'm going to power Threaten for influence 5. I'm going to play Promise for influence 2. I'm going to get -1 reputation because I did use the stronger effect of Threaten, and that influence 7, I'm going to get myself the Red Cape Monks, and those are awesome. I can use them to kill the Orc Summoner fairly easily, and happy about that. So I'm going to roll that. It's green. I'm going to draw to my hand limit, which is 6. I get 2 more cards, stamina, and another wound. What the heck is going on? I've already used this, so that should go face down. I can discard wounds to get red and black mana. So I should probably remember to do that. Cool. I'm going to go to Norwas. Norwas gets a white, gets a red. Don't be white. It's white. So 3 more. 1, 2, and 3. And the next is a white. That's going to be really mess up the timing here. My turn. I'm going to attack the Orc Summoner. I want to hold on to Mana Bolt for the mine. I think that makes the most sense. So the Orc Summoner is going to do what Orc Summoners do. He's going to. I'm not blocking him. So I'm not beating him in the melee or the range or siege attack phase. So in the block phase, his attack is going to be this monster. It is a gargoyle. So cool. I'm glad we didn't see the gargoyles at the mines, because that 4 with physical resistance can be brutal. So we just have to worry about that 5 points of attack he's throwing my way. Just going to not. I mean, I think I still have Tranquility somewhere. So yeah, I'm not going to worry about blocking that. So I'm going to assign a wound to the Foresters. So that's 1 point of damage. And then I'm going to take, so there's 1 point of damage left to assign. I will take that into my hand. And then I'm going to discard a wound to get a red mana. I'm going to use that to power the Red Cape Monks. Red Cape Monks are attacking 4. So after the block phase, this just goes away. And now I have to defeat the Summoner. This attack 4 from the Monks is enough to defeat the Summoner, because then only 4 points of armor. So that gives me 4 fame. I get a reputation back. This is discarded. I clean up my play area. I draw to my hand limit. Well, I'm already at the same 6 cards I had when this mess started. Great. So going on Norwas, 1, 2, and 3. Don't be white. Nice. That's really, really nice, actually. My turn. We're going to move. It's move 5 to get into there. I'm going to. This goes away. Yeah, so invocation, one of the things is that if you discard, you need to use that thing immediately. So you can't you can't just kind of play a game with it. You have to you can't just say, oh, I want to get rid of a wound. Here's a red or a black. Oh, I didn't use it. End of my turn. No, you have to use it on the turn. You get it. It has to be used immediately. So I think it makes a little bit of sense here. So I'm going to discard a card to get a green, because I want to get some cards out of my hand. Although concentration could be, maybe that's stupid. I can't get rid of this blue because I need this blue for Mana Bolt. That's the only blue I have. So I know that's dumb. I guess the question is, I need move 5 to get into there. I was trying to hold on to concentration, but I guess it just wasn't meant to be. Because if I got, I think I still have a swiftness there. Swiftness in here. I might have a battle versatility as well. But I guess that's not going to work, yo. So let me play concentration, get a blue. I'm going to power Frost Bridge, whatever. Stamina. That's move 6. That's going to get me into the mine area, and then I will do some attacking next turn. I have 2 wounds in my hand, but that should work just fine. I'm going to draw up to my hand limit, which is 6. So I get Swiftness, Rage, Tranquility. It's fine. The question is, do I heal my Foresters? Do I heal a card from my hand? Do I have some decisions to make there for sure? Norwas, he's going to declare end of round next turn. I'm going to, since I have 1 more turn after this, I'm going to play Tranquility to heal the Foresters, because then if I want to soak some more damage, I can. It's fairly easy. That's my whole turn. I played a card. I'm going to draw out my last card. Oh, battle versatility. Yes. Great. Norwas declares end of round. I'm attacking these dudes. What do we get? It's a crypt. Ooh, interesting. So what do we got? It is a siege. They're both fortified. We got the diggers that are fortified, and we have the crypt worm, which are also fortified. So I am going to need to take them out. I'm going to need to take them out mostly in the melee phase. I can get a siege ice attack 5. I can get siege attack 7. This range attack is not going to matter. So let me do this. I need a green for that. That's fine. I'm going to play Mana Bolt. I'm going to power it with the blue from my inventory. Then I'm going to also play a green, which gives me Siege Ice Attack 5. And then I'm going to discard a wound to get a red crystal. I'm going to power Battle Versatility, which gives me a Siege Attack 2. So that's a total Siege Attack of a 7, which kills the Crypt Worm. All right. We're going to get to the block phase now. This is, unfortunately, I'm going to take a wound from that, but I'm just going to assign it to the Foresters. But I want the Foresters available. Yeah, I'll assign it to the Foresters. And then in the melee phase, I'm going to play Rage for attack 2, and then Swiftness for attack 1, because I'm playing it sideways, and that's going to kill the Diggers. So I get 1 reputation because I liberated the mine. I'm going to get a red crystal because I'm ending my turn there. I'm going to get Fame. I'm going to get 2 Fame for the Diggers, 5 for the Crypt Worm. So that's going to get me up to 43. Bam. And now we're going to clean up my play area. I'm going to re-roll this die. This goes here. This goes back. And now we do my level up. And the level up is going to be 2 new skills. Ooh. Shoot. I mean, part of me wants to take Norwaz's motivation, but the siege attack 1 is definitely enticing, as is both those attack skills are really interesting. I'm probably taking Swift Bolt just to prevent Norwaz from getting another white card. Him going through 6 cards once is going to be a problem, but if I can really try to prevent him from doing it twice, I'd really appreciate that. I just, since I have to defeat 2 mines, I think getting that motivation skill is going to be important. And then I also feel less pressure to get sparing power, which I might take anyway. That's a legitimately tough choice. I have a lot of attack though between the Red Cape Monks and Mana Bolt. I just like having that extra 1 siege can come in so big sometimes. Like for real. Let me go thematic, I guess. But I'm taking Swift Bolt. I just don't see the point, because that range attack 4 is better than a siege attack physical 1, right? I mean, because again, none of these, most of the, again, unless I run into a fortified enemy. But again, I know I'm not attacking fortified sites right now. I'm not sure that's going to help as much as motivation. For real. So since I took Norwaz's skill, I have to take this bottom action. That will go on my discard pile. We are going to reset that, and Norwaz has already declared end of round. So these flip. This comes up. This comes up. I do need to heal the Foresters. So I'm not sure it's the right idea to wound them, but I think that made some sense. I do want to know how many wounds I have. 3, 4, 5. That could be worse for sure. Now remember, the miners, they love me because I saved their mines. So what are they going to do? They're going to come chase me down alongside the countryside and give me gifts. Thank you. So we get this, we get this, we get this, and we get this. And we now have a full inventory of crystals. I am literally maxed out on every color except for blue, which I only have 1 of. So Heroic Tales is going to go here. Temporal Portal goes here. That makes a lot of sense. I do like giving a blue into Norwaz's deck. We're going to put the Pathfinding there for the advanced action of the unit offer, and then Shield Bash goes in the advanced action offer. We did not put a core tile on the board yet, so we are going to get 3 regular units. That's totally normal for me and how I play this scenario. We get Peasants, we get Magic, Familiars, and we get more Peasants. We're going to have to reset the source. It's 3 reds. Wow. Okay. I'm going to make sure. So Norwest gets a blue because of chill. This goes away. And then added to this is Snowstorm. There should be 19 cards in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. All right. So timing, we're pretty good. I mean, I would be happy. I'm always happier to be further along. One real problem, just looking at the setup, is that mountain there could serve as a barrier, because if this is the city, we are going to have a dragon right there. So we'll see what dragon it is, how bad that could be. If it's just a couple of wounds, then we can rest. I'm not going to be that worried about it, but obviously some are paralyzed, and there are some nasty effects that you could run into with these dragons. So I'm drawing up to my hand limit, which is 6. It's a wound, it's a wound, it's a march, it's a crystallize, it's a promise, and it's a march. A lot of movement early. That's good, actually. Not going to feel like I'm wasting too much, and I'll probably just use this that first round, that first turn. So what do I want? I think I'm going to take Sparing Power. I think that just makes some sense, and give me a big turn for hopefully if the terrain cooperates, I'll get one big turn to get to that last mine. So Norwest is going to definitely go first. So Norwest is going to come off. Please don't get a white. Oh, I put his deck upside down. Come on. Why are you so difficult? All right, here we got a green. Don't be a white. Don't be a white. Oh! Come on, man. All right, so we went through 6 of his cards in the first turn. That's great. All right, my turn. Sparing Power. So he only has 13 cards left. So that definitely changes how I'm thinking about this round in a pretty significant way. I'm going to Power March with a green from my inventory. So I move 4. I'm going to get rid of these 2 wounds, so I can have a wound for ×3 next turn. And then I'm going to play. So I have move 4, 3 points of movement go there. 4 points of, I have 1 more point of movement from March. I'm going to play Promise sideways. I should have another Norwest skill here. I have a Promise sideways, so I get 2 more points of movement. So I'm going to put the first core tile out. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so actually, let me do what I should have done between rounds. Glad I looked at the camera just now. So all this is going to come off, because we don't need it. It's just in our way. So we know that this isn't the coast, and that's not the coast, and that's basically where these last 2 tiles are going to be. All right, so all these tiles, again, I got to cut them off. I don't even need this here. Just make it super clear what's going on. Bye-bye, portal. And now we're down here. So, where was I? So this is here. That's available to me next turn. We have to put the enemies in our newfound land. So we're going to have a monster token, which is going to go face down here. We need a ruin token, which is going to go face up, face down here in the swamp. And then we need Mage Tower token, which is going to go face down over here on this side of the lake. And then we need a Draconum. There's going to be a Rampaging Draconum here. That's not awful. And then we have a Draconum token on top of. Oh man, I wish that was flipped. That's all I'm saying. I definitely wish that was flipped. So then we have a Storm Dragon just chilling there. That's fine. I really should have done. I shouldn't have used this skill. There was no point in throwing away those wounds before I flipped that tile, but obviously I'm not going to back it up because that would be a little cheaty. But I really could have just taken the wounds, rested, and that would have just been a much smarter turn for me. But alas. So I've spent, it's going to be 3 more points of movement into that mine. I'm going to spend March and Crystallize to move in here. I get attacked. I provoke an attack from this dragon. I take 3 wounds. You know, actually, I'm going to... Okay, for the point of education, when I played that, there was no point doing that because I was going to reveal a tile anyway. I should have always get more information before you do anything. There was literally no strategic advantage for me to get rid of those wounds first. So I still have this. So I basically used all my cards to move 3, 4, 5, 6 plus 2. So I moved 8 points of movement. I provoked an attack from that dragon. That dragon's attacking me with a 9. It's a fire dragon. I don't want to mess with it at all. I'm just going to take that 9 points of damage. My armor is 3, so that's totally fine. And we just have 5 wounds on my hand, which, guess what? I'm just going to rest next turn. So this goes here. My turn ended because the dragon attacked me, which is totally cool. And then I draw out my hand limit. What's my hand limit? My hand limit is 6. I wish the city was here because then I would get this is just it's kind of an unfortunate tile because then I could actually get a +1 card draw, but we'll see what this card is. Hopefully it's not something I really want. Is Tranquility. Perfect. Norwas, he's going to get a green, a red, don't be white. It's a red green, so 2 more. So he's gone through 11 cards out of his 19. He only has 8 cards left. And I don't think we've seen a lot yet. We've only seen 2 of his whites out of 4, which is rough. My turn. I'm going to spare power. I'm going to rest. All this goes here. I draw up to my hand limit of 6. Swift Bolt, Concentration, a wound, stamina, swiftness, and another wound. Wow. The only unfortunate thing about losing Tranquility in the way I did was I never got a chance to heal up the Foresters. But that's just kind of how that was going to have to play out, unfortunately. Norwas, 1, 2, and 3. It's red, 1 more card. So he's gone through 15. Yeah, my turn. Sparing power. I'm going to use motivation. So I draw 2 more cards, 1 and 2. Remember, I have invocation, so these wounds actually might be somewhat useful. I'm going to attack the mine. So what do we got? We have a Minotaur and we have ourselves a Storm Dragon. Minotaur is attacking with a 4. It has swiftness, so it's going to be 8 points of block to block it if I have to. It has Assassin, so I have to assign the ones to myself. It also has Poison, so for every wound I give to myself, I have to put 1 in my discard pile. The Storm Dragon has an attack of 4 with swiftness, and it's an ice attack, so it's going to be 16 points of physical block to block it, or 8 points of fire block. So rough on both accounts. If I don't block it, it's elusive. So instead of the 7 armor to kill it, I'm going to need the 14 armor to kill it. And also, yes, don't forget, it has its physical resist. It has its ice resistance. So look, I'm going to play Concentration. I'm going to power with the green from my inventory, and that's going to be range attack 6. That's going to kill said Minotaur. Great. I'm going to take 2. Nope. Check that. I'm going to just... This makes more sense. I'm going to use a white from my inventory to play Swift Bolt. And then I'm going to use the Utham Crossbowman. That's 6 range attack. He's dead. The 1 wound from the Storm Dragon I'm going to assign to the Utham Crossbowman. Now I need 14 points of attack to defeat this clown, which is doable, but it's going to be super painful. So I'm going to use the Concentration. I'm going to power it with the green from one of the greens from my inventory. That's attack 5. Still have this, but yeah, this is rough. 2 wounds. Let me not assign those wounds to the crossbowman. So I take 2 wounds instead of giving him 1. All right, now so I have attack 5 because of concentration and swiftness. I'm going to discard this to get a red. I'm going to use that to power up the improvisation. That's going to be attack 10, and then I'm going to use a red from the source. I do want to get some other color in there besides red, and I'm going to power the Red Cape Monks. That is attack 14, which kills the Storm Dragon. At the end of the combat, so I've used all my units. End of my combat, I am going to use this skill to get rid of those 2 wounds, and then I'll have this last wound to get me some movement because I am going to need to get movement big time. This all goes away. I'm cleaning up my play area. I have liberated the mine, so I get +2 reputation. So you get +1 reputation when you liberate a mine on a countryside tile, +2 when you liberate a mine on a core tile, and I get a total of 12 fame, which gets me from 43 up to 55. That's going to give me another command token. This is out. This is out. So that Storm Dragon can be really rough. That 14 points of attack can really take away a lot of your biggest cards. Now, what do I still have left? Well, I still have Mana Bolt. So, you know, that's going to be a card that can cover up a multitude of wounds. The problem is where the city is going to be. I'm about to get attacked by 2 dragons. And you'll see that in a second. And I'm not sure I'm going to have enough turns to overcome that fact that Norwas is blowing through his deck with a fierceness. Right. So, yeah, that was literally on my 3rd turn. And, I mean, Norwas just... what did he do? What have you done? Yeah, it's nuts. Yeah, none of that's good. None of that's good. All right. So I'm going to end on a liberated mine. I get a green crystal in my inventory. We are going to... I got the reputation. I already got the fame. I got my level up. I'm going to put a shield. Yeah. I mean, the other possibility is I kill this dragon, but then I'm moving 5 through that swamp, man. Oh, it might be better though. But I need 8 points of movement to get into the mine, which would go here, I think, and then somehow have enough to somehow defeat these clowns. All right, I'm drawing up to 6: Explosive Bolt, Determination, Mana Bolt, and Mana Pull. Yeah, I'm not gonna have enough attack. No, I'm not gonna have enough attack to defeat this dragon. And if I don't defeat him, I'm gonna provoke an attack here, and I think provoke an attack here. So killing that dragon is just not really a thing. But I'm not gonna have enough turns to take an attack, rest. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to pull this off. Damn it. Yeah, it's going to be tough. All right, let's see what Norwas does. He's going through the rest of his deck. Yeah, because it's a blue. So he's declaring end around next turn. My turn. I'm going to spare power. This could save me. I'll be drawing a hand at least. I'm going to... Oh, man. My movement is garbage. Wait, never mind. So I can get move 4... with this blue, move 7. I'm going to use 2 points of movement to explore. I need 6 more points of movement. Ugh. So I have 5 more points of movement. This is insane, but there's a small chance it's going to work. All right. So we have the Red City. Remember, the Red City is just friendly. We can go through it just like we can any other city. And I'll get the card out here, but again, it's totally friendly. We put a shield on there, and that should be fine. We're going to get a enemy face down, a monster enemy. We're going to get a ruins face down, and then we're going to get 2 Draconum. Rampaging, we're going to get a rampaging dragon here. Please do not have paralyze. That's perfect. I get another one of those. That would really help. Oh, that's bad. We got ourselves a Draconum Summoner. That's great. And then we're going to have the Draconum on the mine. It is the Ice. That's amazing. Have I seen Battle Versatility yet this round? I don't think I have. I have not. So I do have some really strong turns here. All right, so I need to move. I have 4 more points of movement from the stamina and this skill with that wound, with the ×3. I'm going to use that, and it's again always 2 points of movement to get into the into the city. So I'm going to go in. This should have been re-rolls from last turn. That's now a gold. Awesome. It's really helpful. I'm going to move into the city. Now, since I moved into the city, it provokes attacks from both of these guys. I am not trying to attack them. There's no chance. So, what am I trying to do? Man, because this, again, the Swamp Dragon has swiftness. It'd be 10 points of block to try to block it. There's just no way I'm blocking it. I need to save every bit of damage I can get. The problem is, that's 2 points of damage. And if I get 4 more points of damage from this dude, then I'm totally knocked out and I have 0 chance of coming back. Now, again, I have 2 soaks here. So let's see. I'm not defeating anything in the siege or range attack phase. The Draconum Summoner is going to attack me with 2 enemies. Any of them have paralyzed. That'd be super gross. The first enemy from the Draconum Summoner is the Minotaur. So that's 10 points of damage. Not great. And this one is the Crypt Worm, so that's 6 points of damage. So that'd be 2 wounds, 2 wounds, 2 wounds, 3 wounds, 2 wounds. So that's interesting. So what I'm going to do is think I can survive this amazingly. So I'm going to take 2 points of damage from the Swamp Dragon, and then because it has poison, 2 more points, 2 wounds from the Swamp Dragon, and then 2 wounds go into my discard pile. The Minotaur, I'm going to assign the first 4 points of damage to the Uthgar's Bowman, the next 4 points of damage to the monks, and then I get to take a point of damage on my hand. That's the 3rd wound that I took into my hand. Minotaur goes away. Crypt Worm, I take 2 more wounds into my hand. So I only took 5 wounds. It did not knock me out. If I got knocked out, I'd have to discard these 3 cards. That would be really bad, right? So now the Crypt Worm goes away, and now we go to the melee phase. I'm not attacking either of those dudes. It is what it is. We are going to flip this because that skill is now used up. These all go into my discard pile. I draw to my hand limit, which is 6. I'm in a friendly city with a shield on it. I could technically draw up to 7. Well, clearly that's not happening. All right, so I'm never going to get to this card. It's a rage. We'll see if that matters. Norwalk's turn, he declares end of round. Beginning of my turn, I'm sparing power. I get these 4 cards into my hand. Wow. So, what's happening? I need 3 points of movement to leave the city to get into the mine, and we have to get this done this freaking turn. So, I'm leaving the city with Frostbridge. Oh, man. Okay, we'll see how this goes. So, I'm leaving the city with Frostbridge and stamina. Every crystal I can save is... I don't have any blues. So no. White. One white there. I need a red. No. We're going to do this. I'm going to play Mana Pull. I'm going to power the white from my inventory. I'm going to get 2. Ooh. Oh. Never mind. Let's go back to the originally scheduled program. Shoot. So the Ice Dragon is immune to ice attacks, and of course I have a ton of ice attacks. Do have some ranged fire attack. I guess the question is, do I want to take a blue? I think it makes more sense to get a black with Mana Pull. So if I get a blue and a black, then I can get the stronger effect of Mana Thunderbolt, which I'm probably going to really need considering I need to beat that Ice Dragon. I'm not going to have enough block to block the Ice Dragon, and he has paralyzed, and I've already wounded all my units. So if I take that wound, again, I'm knocked out, all this goes away. So I'm going to need to defeat him in the range at siege attack phase. So the problem is all the range and siege attack on Mana Bolt or Mana Thunderbolt is all iced. So we're spending both of that. I'm playing Mana Pull. I'm going to take 2 dice from the source. I'm going to give myself a blue and a black. And hopefully the math works out. I literally have no idea if it will. Great. Oh, I could discard a wound to get a black. This extra... I'm worried. I feel like it's going to come out to 1 freaking card right now. Yeah, I'm going to do a blue and a blue. Give me this card back. I'm going to discard a wound to get a black with that. And I have another blue. So I'm going to use the 1 blue to power Frostberries to get me into the mine. I'm now attacking these clowns. Interesting. So I am cool. So if I use Explosive Bolt to kill the werewolf as part of an attack, that will actually reduce the armor of the Ice Dragon. Now the Ice Dragon, again, he's ice immune, but he's not arcane immune. If he was arcane immune, the -1 reduction wouldn't happen. Additionally, because this is a white-red card, if he was fire immune, he wouldn't get the minus. He would be immune to that as well. Again, because it would be a red card, he's immune to the stronger effects, or he's immune to the effects of cards that are powered by red mana, right? But because, again, white is not blue, this is a blue card to be immune to that, right? Like a chilly stare or chilling stare wouldn't work on him. This will. So I think the goal is, because of how the math works out, it's going to make sense to try to kill the werewolf and then have the additional reduce his armor down to 12. It would only be 12 points of physical attack or ice attack as opposed to the 14. That's a big difference. So the math will work out better that way. So I'm going to play Explosive Bolt and Swift Bolt. I'm going to power Explosive Bolt with a red, Swift Bolt. I'm sorry, Explosive Bolt and Swiftness. That's going to give me range attack 6. That defeats the werewolf in the range attack phase. It reduces his armor down to 6. Now I'm going to play Mana Bolt. I'm going to power it with the blue and the black, and then I'm going to play a green. That's siege attack 8. Right? His armor is 6 because it was 7 reduced by 1 because of Explosive Bolt, and that's not efficient because it is an ice attack. So that reduces it effectively down to a armor of a 2, right? Because again, it's inefficient. So this is basically reduced to an attack of a 4. So it goes from a 6 down to a 2. And then I'm going to play, it's not going to work because I'm short. I'm literally 1 range attack short. So this gives me range attack or fire attack. It never gives me both. And that's unfortunate. Let me reverse this. Let's try to kill him first. Let's see what happens. So that is a ranged ice attack of an 8. So that reduces his armor down to a 3, right? Because if I don't kill the werewolf first, he doesn't get the minus reduction from Explosive Bolt. So then if I do this, this is going to work. That is a range attack total, range and siege attack total of a 14, which is enough to kill him in the range and siege attack phase. And additionally gives -1 armor to the werewolf. Now I don't have enough range attack to kill the werewolf. What's going to happen? The werewolf's going to attack me, but he's not going to knock me out because he doesn't have paralyzed, right? I'm clearly not blocking him because it's 14 block because of that swiftness. I'm going to take 2 wounds to my hand. And now in the melee phase, I'm going to play Battle Versatility. I'm going to power with the red. That gives me attack 4. Man, this is Arythea's version of Rage. So I'm just going to use the attack 4, play Stamina sideways. That's attack 5. Werewolf is dead. Woo-wee! Oh my gosh. I don't know if it got picked up on camera, but I definitely said I can't win this. Yeah, that was nuts. This scenario is so freaking hard. I don't know where it fits for me. That was one of the coolest games I've ever played, and I just, it's so cool when that gets put on camera. You saw a lot of things come together. The sparing power, the power of that. And again, technically, I had information when I rewound that. It just wouldn't have made strategic sense for me to do it the way I did it. But you saw how, like, every ounce of every point mattered, right? And being able to have this, I was like, all right, cool. I'll get rid of 2, and I have that, so I was able to use that better. Invocation mattered. That motivation skill was huge because I needed every bit of attack. In the first mine, when I had the Storm Dragon, the dragons are tough. And So granted, I wonder if I went through and I took out the Lost Legion content and the enemies, because again, I did it for the, I did do it for the terrain. But if I took it out for the enemies, but I also have to take out this cooperative skill, I'm not going to go to that level where I think it's worth all the extra work of like going through the decks and making sure this is a base game card, base game spell, or a base game advanced action. That's not worth it to me, or the units. I think the terrain makes the most sense because the game, it does seem that the scenario is really designed for that original terrain, and the rest of the expansion content is just fine. That's how I would choose to play it. I'm really curious if anyone else has any other thoughts, but that was that was just so cool. But you can see why, like, with someone who's not Arythea, it's hard. This is a really hard scenario with Bravelar. It's a really hard scenario with Tovak, even Wolfhawk. Wolfhawk's really good with movement, not necessarily attack. Krang has some really cool tricks, and Krang's actions. I mean, the Battle Frenzy is awesome. The Master of Chaos is awesome. The Puppet Master, I mean, he's got some things that really do well in this scenario. Shamanic Ritual is always a massive, and once I figured out how to play that right, I just love that skill. So I think Krang and Arythea, you got a chance. The rest, it's just really hard to make this work. And I thought I mean, when Norwas started blowing through that deck, I'm like, man, I'm gonna need one more turn. But it just worked out that I had that 7 points of movement, got in there, was able to take these attacks without getting knocked out, and I had basically an entire hand of cards waiting for me with the sparing power. I mean, it was 4 cards, right? This was my 5th turn. I mean, Norwas went through his deck that quick. But we were able to. That's all we needed. We needed those 4 cards. I mean, and no, make no mistake, we needed every bit of those 4 cards. Because again, he went through his deck in 4 turns. 5th turn, he declares end of round, and that's where we went into action. Was able to get in there and to make that come together. Mana pull, you see the power of that. It's super cool. And then being able to get invocation to get me that black mana. I had, you get tons of crystals because the miners are so thankful forever. That's great, but this is a really, really cool scenario to get on camera. I often have a feeling where I'm like, because I don't film everything, and I'm like, oh, I wish I'd had that on film. And it's really nice when I'm like, I wish I had that on film. Oh wait, I did. I did. Man, I hope you guys got as much of a kick of the ending of this as I did, because that, I mean, just you're not, if you got as much as I did, there's something wrong with you. But I hope you got a 10th of the kick that I got out of this, because then I think this is at least worth your time and added to your viewing pleasure to definitely a great degree. Look, that's it, man. Thank you, Michael Wright, again, for your support and being one of my earliest patrons in this channel. We will have more patron challenges coming up in the future. We will be back to Mage Knight. I will take a look potentially at the rest of the scenarios in the base game. Really excited to get deeper with some more solo conquest blitzes, and I know I'm kind of doing some things with the rest of the Lost Legion scenarios. So we have some things to look forward to there. Other than that, Spirit Island, Arkham, Gaia, Zeds, they're all coming up. If you want to know the exact schedule for the channel, you can go on my Patreon page. I make a public post at the beginning of every month in which I list what's going to be published when, so you make sure you tune in when you want to see what's coming up. And until next time, whenever that is, thanks for joining me. Happy gaming.